Imagine waking up one day, stepping outside, and realizing that no person, no event, no words or judgments have the power to disturb your peace. Imagine a life where you are untouchable, not in the sense of arrogance or indifference, but in a way that makes you completely self-sufficient, emotionally unshakable, and deeply rooted in your own being. It might sound unrealistic. After all, we live in a world where we are constantly told that our emotions are tied to external forces, how people treat us, what they think of us, the validation we receive, the love we get, the approval of society. We are conditioned to believe that happiness is something that comes from the outside, and that suffering is inevitable when the outside world doesn't align with our expectations. But what if I told you that this is an illusion? What if the only reason you feel controlled, affected, or hurt by others is because you have unknowingly given them that power? Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, believed that true strength is found in self-awareness. He argued that the key to emotional freedom lies in detachment, not from life itself, but from the unconscious need for external validation. Because the moment you seek approval from the world, you become a slave to it. The moment you allow another person's words, actions, or beliefs to dictate your emotions, you lose control over yourself. So the real question is, how do you take that control back? How do you free yourself from the emotional chains that make you vulnerable to the outside world? Jung's philosophy provides a path, one that requires deep self-reflection, a willingness to confront the hidden aspects of your mind, and most importantly, a commitment to mastering yourself. In this video, we will explore how Jung's insights can help you reach a state where nothing and nobody will ever affect you again. Let's begin. The source of your suffering, why you give away your power. If nothing and nobody were meant to control you, then why do so many people suffer emotionally because of others? Why do words hurt? Why does rejection feel like a wound? Why do people's opinions, judgments, and actions have the power to shake your confidence, ruin your day, or even break you completely? The answer lies in one fundamental truth. You suffer because you identify with things that are not truly you. Carl Jung believed that most people live unconsciously, ruled by hidden fears, past wounds, and societal conditioning. You might think you are in control of your thoughts and emotions, but in reality, you are reacting to deep-seated patterns that were programmed into you long before you even became aware of them. Think about it. How much of your emotional pain comes from expectations? You expect love, validation, respect, appreciation. And when the world doesn't give you what you expect, you suffer. You expect a friend to be loyal, a lover to always understand you, a stranger to treat you kindly. But when reality doesn't match your expectations, you feel hurt, betrayed, and frustrated. This is the first illusion that must be broken, the belief that others are responsible for how you feel. Jung teaches that the more you attach your self-worth to external things, people's approval, social status, relationships, material success, the more you set yourself up for suffering. Because everything outside of you is beyond your control. And when your happiness depends on something you cannot control, you become emotionally fragile. But what if you stop seeking? What if you realize that you are already complete, that nothing outside of you can truly add or take away from who you are? This is where the transformation begins. When you stop identifying with what is temporary and external, you reclaim your power. You stop reacting. You stop giving away control. You stop being emotionally dependent on forces that are not truly yours to begin with. This is the first step to freedom. But to reach a state where nothing and nobody will ever affect you again, we must go deeper into Jung's most powerful concept, the shadow self. Confronting the shadow, the path to true emotional freedom. Carl Jung believed that the key to emotional mastery lies in confronting your own darkness. This darkness, your shadow self, is the part of you that you suppress, deny, or refuse to acknowledge. It contains all the thoughts, emotions, and desires that society, family, and even your own mind have deemed unacceptable. But here's the problem. What you suppress does not disappear. It controls you from the shadows. Most people go through life avoiding their own darkness. They run from painful emotions, distract themselves with entertainment, work, or relationships, and convince themselves that they are good people simply because they ignore the parts of themselves they don't like. But what happens when they are triggered? When someone disrespects them, when life doesn't go as planned, or when their deepest insecurities are exposed? Suddenly, the emotions they buried resurface with full force. They feel powerless, out of control, deeply affected by external events. But here's the truth. These external events are not the real cause of their suffering. They are simply mirrors reflecting parts of themselves they have refused to acknowledge. For example, if someone calls you weak and it deeply affects you, it's not because of their words, it's because some part of you fears that it might be true. If you were truly secure in yourself, their words would hold no weight. If you struggle with jealousy, it's not because others are more successful, it's because deep down, you don't believe you are worthy of success. If you constantly seek validation, it's not because you love compliments, it's because you have not yet learned to validate yourself. This is why Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." In other words, if you do not confront your inner wounds, they will keep showing up in your external world, through toxic relationships, repeated failures, self-doubt, and emotional instability. You will think the world is against you, when in reality, you are at war with yourself. So how do you break free? Shadow work, the process of reclaiming your power. Shadow work is the practice of bringing the unconscious into the conscious. It means looking at the parts of yourself you have buried, the insecurities, the fears, the suppressed anger, the unhealed wounds, and facing them with honesty and courage. Here's how you can start. Observe your triggers. Pay attention to what triggers you. The next time someone's words or actions upset you, pause. Ask yourself, why does this bother me? What belief about myself is being challenged? Your triggers are a map leading to your hidden wounds. Accept your darkness. Instead of pretending to be perfect, acknowledge your flaws, your insecurities, and your past mistakes. Jung believed that true strength comes from integrating, not rejecting your shadow. When you accept your own darkness, no one else can use it against you. Detach from ego. Your ego constantly seeks validation, approval, and superiority. It wants to be right, to be admired, to be respected. But the more you identify with your ego, the more you suffer. Instead of reacting emotionally to criticism or rejection, practice witnessing. Observe your emotions without letting them control you. Embrace self-reflection. Journaling, meditation, and deep introspection are powerful tools for uncovering hidden beliefs. Ask yourself, what parts of myself do I reject or hide from others? What fears have been controlling my decisions? What painful experiences from my past still affect me today? When you begin this process, something incredible happens. You stop being controlled by the external world. You stop being fragile. People's opinions lose their power. Rejection stops hurting. Fear dissolves. Because the truth is, nobody can hurt you unless you let them. When you accept yourself fully, both light and dark, there is nothing left for the world to use against you. You become untouchable. The real battle was never with the world, it was always within you. But we're not done yet. The next step is to build an unshakable mindset, one that allows you to navigate life with complete emotional freedom. Let's go deeper. Building an unshakable mindset, mastering detachment. Now that we've explored the power of self-awareness and shadow work, the next step is developing mental resilience, the ability to remain calm, centered, and unaffected by the chaos of the external world. Carl Jung understood that true power comes from detachment, not in the sense of apathy, but in the sense of emotional independence. Detachment means you are no longer controlled by external events, people's opinions, or even your own fleeting emotions. It means you respond to life rather than react to it. So, how do you develop this level of emotional mastery? 1. Stop seeking validation from others. One of the biggest reasons people suffer is because they constantly measure their worth through the eyes of others. They crave approval, fear rejection, and attach their happiness to how they are perceived. But here's the reality. People's opinions are a reflection of them, not you. The way someone treats you is shaped by their own beliefs, experiences, and insecurities. It has nothing to do with your value. Approval is temporary. No matter how much people admire you today, they can change their minds tomorrow. If your self-worth is tied to external validation, you will always feel unstable. Rejection is a blessing. When someone doesn't value you, it simply means they are not meant for you. Detachment allows you to walk away without resentment and move toward the people and opportunities that align with your true self. The moment you stop living for the approval of others, you free yourself from one of the biggest sources of suffering. 2. Master emotional neutrality. Most people let their emotions dictate their actions. They get angry and lash out, they feel anxious and avoid challenges, they experience fear and run away. But emotional mastery means you control your emotions, they don't control you. Practice the pause. Before reacting to any situation, take a deep breath. Give yourself a few seconds to observe your emotions without immediately acting on them. Reframe negative experiences. Instead of seeing challenges as punishments, view them as opportunities for growth. Every difficulty is shaping you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Stop personalizing everything. Not everything is about you. If someone is rude, if things don't go your way, if life throws obstacles at you, it's not an attack. It's just life. The less you take things personally, the more peaceful you become. 3. Let go of attachment to outcomes. One of the hardest lessons in life is understanding that control is an illusion. No matter how much you plan, prepare, or worry, the future is uncertain. When you become attached to a specific outcome, you set yourself up for suffering. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you trust the process. You do your best, but you don't cling to results. Whether things go your way or not, you remain steady, knowing that life is unfolding exactly as it should. If a relationship ends, let it go. Someone leaving your life is not a loss. It's making space for something better. If an opportunity slips away, move forward. Nothing meant for you will ever pass you by. If life doesn't follow your plan, adapt. The greatest breakthroughs often come from unexpected changes. Jung understood that suffering comes from attachment. The more you try to hold on to things, the more pain you experience. But the moment you surrender, when you accept life as it is, without resistance, you step into true power, becoming untouchable. When you integrate these principles into your life, something incredible happens. People can insult you, but it doesn't affect you. Situations can change, but you remain stable. You stop chasing happiness and start embodying peace. Because in the end, nothing and nobody can affect you unless you allow them to. This is the secret to emotional mastery. But there's one final step: learning how to truly live with this mindset day by day, without falling back into old patterns. Let's take this even further. You said, right next section. ChatGPT said, Section 5, Living with True Freedom, the Path to Inner Peace. Once you master emotional detachment, stop seeking validation, and let go of attachment to outcomes, you step into a rare state of being, true freedom. But here's the challenge: the world will constantly try to pull you back. People will test your patience. Situations will arise that trigger old emotions. Society will pressure you to conform, to care about things that don't matter, to fear things beyond your control. The real test is not just understanding these principles, it's living by them. Every single day. 1. Stop reacting to negativity. One of the biggest signs that you've mastered yourself is that you stop being reactive. You no longer allow negativity to disturb your peace. If someone insults you, you don't take it personally. Their words reflect their mind, not your worth. If things go wrong, you adapt instead of breaking down. You trust that life is always guiding you in the right direction. If people try to manipulate or control you, you stay centered. You no longer fall into emotional traps. Your power lies in your ability to remain calm when the world is chaotic. 2. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. Not everyone deserves access to you. If you truly want peace, be intentional about where you invest your time, attention, and emotions. Avoid energy-draining people. If someone constantly brings negativity into your life, distance yourself. Protecting your peace is more important than pleasing others. Limit social media and news consumption. The world thrives on fear and drama, but you don't have to participate. Filter what you allow into your mind. Surround yourself with people who inspire and uplift you. If you spend time with people who are constantly complaining, gossiping, or spreading negativity, you will absorb that energy. Choose wisely. Your mind is your home. Don't let just anyone walk in and leave their mess. 3. Master the art of letting go. Jung believed that attachment is the root of suffering. The more you try to control, cling, or resist change, the more pain you experience. But when you let go of expectations, of resentment, of past wounds, you step into true peace. Let go of people who no longer align with you. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. Some people are lessons, not lifelong companions. Let go of past pain. What happened to you is real, but reliving it keeps you trapped. Healing begins when you decide to release the weight of the past. Let go of needing to control everything. Life flows more effortlessly when you trust it instead of resisting it. Detachment is not about apathy, it's about inner strength. It's about realizing that you are already complete, whole, and at peace within yourself. The final realization: you are free. When you stop reacting, protect your energy, and master letting go, something profound happens. You no longer fear loss because you trust yourself to handle anything. You no longer crave validation because you recognize your own worth. You no longer get emotionally drained by the world because you've built an unshakable foundation within yourself. At this point, nothing and nobody can affect you again because you have mastered yourself. This is the ultimate freedom. But the journey doesn't end here. The next step is applying this wisdom daily, turning knowledge into action, and action into transformation. The power of radical acceptance. Once you reach this stage, resistance fades away. You stop fighting reality. You stop wishing things were different. You stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Carl Jung believed that what you resist persists. The more you fight your emotions, circumstances, and challenges, the more power you give them. But when you embrace radical acceptance, when you stop resisting what is, you step into true power. So what does this mean? You accept people for who they are, without trying to change them. You accept your past without guilt or regret. You accept your emotions without suppressing or fearing them. You accept that life is unpredictable, and that's okay. This doesn't mean you stop striving for growth. It means you no longer suffer over things you cannot change. 1. Acceptance destroys emotional chaos. Imagine this. You're standing in the ocean, fighting against the waves, trying to push them back. No matter how strong you are, you'll lose. The ocean is more powerful than you. But the moment you stop fighting and start floating, the struggle disappears. That's what radical acceptance does. It removes unnecessary suffering and allows you to focus on what truly matters. Instead of arguing with reality, you flow with it. Instead of obsessing over what others think, you stay rooted in your truth. Instead of replaying past mistakes, you accept them as lessons and move forward. Peace is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to remain calm no matter what happens. 2. You stop seeking external validation. One of the biggest traps in life is seeking approval from others. We crave acceptance, admiration, and recognition. But Jung knew that the moment you rely on external validation, you give away your power. When you reach this level of self-awareness, you no longer need reassurance. You don't seek attention to feel worthy. You stop measuring your success by society's standards. You realize that nothing outside of you can complete you because you are already whole. 3. Life becomes effortless. When you fully accept yourself, your emotions, and your journey, life no longer feels like struggle. You stop chasing happiness and realize it was always within you. You stop fearing change and begin embracing the unknown. You stop trying to force outcomes and let life unfold naturally. And that's when something extraordinary happens. Everything starts working in your favor. Why? Because you are no longer blocking your own growth with fear, doubt, or resistance. You trust yourself. You trust life. You trust the process. And when you trust the process, life stops being something you fear and becomes something you embrace. The final realization. Jung's philosophy isn't about escaping reality. It's about transforming the way you experience it. You don't need to control the world to feel safe. You don't need people's approval to feel worthy. You don't need to avoid emotions to be at peace. Because you have built something unbreakable within you. And when you reach this stage, truly, nothing and nobody will affect you again. So now the question is, are you ready to let go of resistance, embrace your true self, and experience life in its purest form? Because once you do, you will never look at the world the same way again. If you're ready to take control of your mind and stop letting the world dictate your emotions, then this is just the beginning. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that challenges your thinking and helps you grow stronger. Here, we dive deep into the wisdom of great minds so you can apply it to your own life. Join this journey of self-mastery because the power to change your reality starts with you. Are you ready? Let's begin.